So, here I am, on this journey to that place where I love and love and love. Not because I have a duty to, but because I can't help myself. And this is the place these spiritual texts seek to describe, is it not? It is a place I glimpse often enough. Skirting its boundaries, I occasionally manage to skim through its surface for a moment or two. The heavenly place we pine for, it is a real potential quality. And the funny thing is that when you are in that place, you don't feel the need to be evangelical about it, because you are perfectly aware that all of that love you are experiencing is coming directly out of you and subsequently reflecting back to you, amplified, skimming in and out of the heavenly place, for want of a better term. One eventually cottons onto this, observes it in action, learns it. Ah yes, okay, I see. I ask myself, what do I wish to be reflected back to me, amplified? And once I've identified what that is, there's really nothing left for me to do but start putting that out into the field, knowing full well that there's infinite possibility as to when the reflection reaches me and what it looks like when it does. Of course, the simple question, what do I wish to have reflected back to me, when asked in a high-resolution context, such as that of being a human, inevitably requires a high-resolution answer. Both the question and the answer can still be simple, but it's a simple answer that is rendered in an infinitely high resolution, so it is capable of containing beautiful, beautiful subtleties. So I recognize the journey before me plainly enough. What I need to do in order to skim through the membrane into the heavenly place and, rather than arc back down and through it to here again, fly away instead. Go find a tree to perch on. What I need to do is put out into the field all of the love I wish to receive back, amplified. And the only way to do that is for me to put all of that love into me in the first place, so I can even know what that love looks like to me. And thankfully, I don't need any of you to do that for myself. And you, thankfully, do not need any of us to do that for yourself. And so, I put all of my love out into the field as I do, from my sit spot on the edge of the woods, from my little home, and I do it for utterly selfish reason. Because I love to actively shift the focus of my outlook, so that what the field is constantly waving under my nose for my own personal edification and gratification comes into sharp enough relief that I can see it well enough for what it is. I am learning to love myself. And it is a process. The rest of the world, as viewed and experienced from my point of view, comes alive to me in direct response that is proportional to the love I am feeling for being me. It's all in the self-love, sweeties. That's the journey of discovery you are forever on. The heavenly place, yes, it exists, and it's that away. Learning the self-love, it is both powerful and subtle. It requires sincere and respectful attention from you. If you are not to neglect you, and it will reap you the most beautiful of rewards, for want of a better word. Well, how about fruits? It will reap you the sweetest, juiciest fruits. Fruits that surpass the expectations of the seeds you sent outwards. By loving inwards first. You see, loving inwards causes one to look outwards with a gleam. And truly, that is all it's about. When you look outwards with a gleam, even if your surroundings are, relatively speaking, a shit pile, and you can see they are currently a shit pile, you get it, and you see the thing that most needs to change, whatever that may be. This can, often enough, bring trepidation with it, but only when you are still young and trepidatious. Get learning your self-love, and never get off it. Get your mind, your strong mind, and your powerful heart on the same side, the same team. Get your mind seeing and acknowledging and valuing your heart and its emotional output. Get your heart loving and supporting your mind and its mental creativity. Allow them to inform and honour and serve each other, promote each other's strength, vitality and freedom, promote and champion each other's coherency and happiness. Let this be so in our marriages also. When you feel you must stand by decisions that disappoint others, articulate well to them that and how you are simply doing your best to honour yourself in truth, in truthful recognition of your own wishes for yourself. If you know why you are choosing as you are, because you see clearly enough and honestly enough for yourself, then you will have enough clarity to articulate yourself clearly, definitively. My mental knowing, my heartfelt emotions, and my higher self have consulted with each other on this matter and our agreed upon decision is thus. This is how the eternal conducts oneself when the eternal is coherent enough to do so. You, your egoic self, consult your deeper self via your heart, your emotions, and your higher self by straight out asking it for its opinion in whatever way best works for you. And you negotiate your agreed upon choices. You let the truth be as it is. You let your response be your own. And you let others' responses be their own. When the 8 billion are all each making their own choices for themselves, for no more subversive a reason than that it simply does not occur to them to do otherwise, because they are already coherent unto their own selves, we come into a coherency none of us have ever dreamed of, never been able to dream of in living memory here. You are not trying to get from a darker place to a lighter place. You are not trying to be a better you. You're not trying to get from a darker to a lighter place because the place where you forever are and always have been all along is right here. Right here in the center of all things. This is where you are, where you reside right now, always have, and always will. And regardless of whether you are currently in a human avatar or some other kind of avatar, all your experience out here at the wheel of life, the land of infinite idiosyncrasy, is always a living reflection of you. Knowing that and taking personal accountability for that knowing brings coherency. None of it is moralistic. It is only that all of it becomes honest. Where else would the source and the receiver of all things reside but at and in the center of all things? Does that make them narcissistic? Sometimes. Sometimes. I love us, my darling me. I love us, my darling me. What else is there, truly, for the eternal one I am to eternally choose for oneself? There is a heaven beneath all things. There is a heaven behind all things. There is a heaven within all things. There is a heaven above all things. There is a heaven ahead of all things. There is a heaven beyond the horizon. The heaven beneath, behind, and within pushes us forever upwards, forwards, and outwards. The heaven above, ahead, and beyond rushes down to meet us in recognition, back to greet us with appreciation, inwards, to merge with our fire, with our light, to be warmed and illuminated in great celebration. You are the giver and receiver of all things. You are the giver and receiver of all things. You are the cause. You are the effect. You are the mystery that dances between